Good evening, racing fans, and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have the grand finals of the Link to the Past Randomizer Pilot Spoiler Tournament, featuring Dodgers Gone Wild, and if you can't beat 'em, pilot 'em. My name is Z Kaiwind, and joining me in the commentary booth is Vortex of Doom.
Hi, I'm very excited for this match. Both of these teams have had a very good run, beating a lot of very good teams. And yeah, like both of the runners are very solid. And you know, if you're familiar with Link to the Past Randomizer, neither needs much introduction. Gamma is definitely well known as one of the best in the game. Rock solid execution-wise. Relkin is right there with him. So yeah, should be a really good race.
And we saw different openers, and tree poles have single bombs.
And it should be mentioned that the runners are piloted by Moogle Charm on Gamachu's side and 1-Up for Relkin. And Relkin and 1-Up did some switching back and forth between running and piloting over the course of the tournament. But Moogle and Gamma have run Gamma on the controller, Moogle reading the notepad file the whole time.
Yeah. And being a pilot is not easy either, so it's a stressful mode.
Yeah, the workload is very heavily on the pilot at the beginning of the race because the runner can just sort of autopilot. They have probably a set opener that they stick to most of the time until the pilot tells them to do something, and the pilot has to find where the things they need are and how to get to them the most quickly, just right away. There's absolutely no downtime at the beginning of the race as a pilot. So both runners finding quickly that Flute is in frontal escape, which is going to be nice because both of them getting it before they've been to Kakariko. Will save them some time later.
To answer a question in chat, how much time does pilot get pre-race, Vortex? None. These pilots have to work on the fly.
So the Lost Woods start that Gamma and Moogle did, putting them, apparently behind. Well, in actuality, there's nothing there, and all they got out of it was one of the two tree poles that Relkin already did anyway. But yeah, I participated in the tournament as mostly a pilot, and what I was gonna say, I was almost sure that this would be. Coming from the south means they're probably getting something good on race game. And I was going to say the first two things I look for when opening the spoiler log are Flute and Boots. If you can get either of them early, it can be just a huge boon, just in terms of efficiency. And both pilots finding the route to get those critical items quickly. Gamma skipping the 300 on library. Might not need it. Might have been a safety pickup on Relkin's side, in case you need. It's free pod money. It's the start of Zora money, but it might just have been like, this is pretty free, and we're running right past it with the boots. So you might as well pick it up. There's a lot of that in Pilot Spoiler, with a pod small or a Skullwood small that's not too far out of the way. Even if you end up not needing anything there, it's easier to pick it up while you're in the area than to come back, or to wish you had picked it up later on when the route seems to be calling for it.
And it looks like we found a red cane in the chicken house today. Very useful item. We probably need that. And it's worth noting, neither of us has the spoiler log. We're going to be as surprised as Chad is here.
Yeah, so this is open key sanity. The more popular, non-entrance key sanity mode for solo play is usually all dungeons key sanity. But for spoiler pilot, it becomes that's a little less interesting in a lot of ways, because it just becomes like a question of finding everything because you need everything. So this is open keys, so we don't need to complete the pendants. Looks like Moogle has given Gamma the info from his tracker. We've got pendants at Eastern and Skull Woods, with Thieves Town being our green pendant today. So if we go into those dungeons, it's because we need something there.
Apparently, Nick Gamma did not get a hammer. Was it?
Where was it?
There's a moon pearl there.
Uh-oh. Well, luckily with the flute, when they realize that mistake, it'll be a pretty quick fix. Definitely a time loss that they'd prefer not to have, but... Ooh, we're getting the big key to Eastern. Very interesting. It makes... It's more interesting from Gamma's side, because we know that they have the pendant info. If you have to get something from the sunken treasure, the floodgate chest is better pick that up in case we need it. But knowing it's a pendant, you can probably check that real quick. With no mirror.
We just got a sword out of Mini Moldrum Cave here. And Gamma opting to do bomb strats with the lack of magic has to be very careful here. And
smartly taking a save and quit. Definitely faster than the death animation, but not a time loss he wanted to have.
No, it is not, and has to flute away to pick up bombs from somewhere. And it looks like he has to go back for that 300 now. Oh no, and on Relkin's side, there must be something Waterfall Fairy, but he does not have that Moon Pearl.
Okay, so Relkin knows he doesn't have that pearl. This won't bite him because he stored a water walk and is fake flippering and is going to use that water walk on the ledge here. So I don't think there's anything on Zora, or they would have routed in a little more money. And so Relkin not actually getting punished, because I think the value was this bow that they're getting from Zora Ledge. Gamma
very important to get early.
And Gamma might be doing the same thing, setting up a water walk here after completing Mini Moldrum Cave. Relkin, I think, having expected to have that pearl, is rectifying that mistake right away. Did we need something out of Ice Ride Cave, or is Gamma just...
I don't know. Even there must be something in there if he's opening it up, because you can just set up the water walk from the other side.
That's true. Oh! No, this is how Gamma sets up water walk. And so my team name for this, and a mantra of my teammate is no think, only go. And there's a lot of that in this mode. There's a lot of muscle memory. There's a lot of do what you know, like do what comes automatically, because if you're trying to think about everything.
Okay, that's interesting. That was a small key to Castle Tower.
Yeah, it was. Welkin did not grab that. Gamma did not grab the bow. Very interesting.
Very interesting route divergence between these two teams.
GT big key in Eastern, so this much is definitely unquestionably required. And Gamma is going into Eastern, so Relkin might have picked up that bow now. There's the possibility that they've noticed something Gamma and Moogle haven't, or there's the possibility that they have not noticed that this is a pendant. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. They might have just grabbed the sword because it was convenient, or the bow. They might have planned on. Well, no, I don't think they would have planned on grabbing the Castle Tower Small, because if you move left or right in Waterfall Ferry, that water walk gets disarmed. So that was probably not the intent.
But without that bow, do we even know what we don't know what Eastern is, because with this mode we won't get a map check out of these runners. Or map pickups at all.
I am going off of Gamma's tracker, and I am presuming Moogle has told him whether this is a pendant or crystal. And so if Gamma has it marked as a pendant, that is what I am assuming. So Relkin is going for Armos here. Gamma cannot follow suit.
And this Eastern is definitely very, very full of items.
Ooh, a Skullwood Small from the big chest. That is actually a low-key, pretty nice pickup if you need anything from the front of Skullwoods.
Yeah. Or even if you just posted a pack of Skullwoods.
Yeah, I don't know that that's faster than either of the free keys in back. But there is the fact that once you get there, you don't have to think about getting a key. You can just sort of go.
If you're going through anyways, it's probably worth the time.
Yeah, and even if you don't know yet if you need anything in front of Skull, it's like, if you have that, it's...
Speaking of Skullwoods, that's a fire rod.
Oh, man, that is probably... Get your think pendants in chat. Because unless something is on Ped, that's... probably not what Relkin was hoping for, or thinking he was getting there.
It's also worth noting, according to Gamachu's personal tracker, I think we have an Agaseed.
Yeah, it could be... Oh, wait, yeah, we do have both keys.
We're going up Aga Tower. This is a scary Aga Tower for Gamachu. came in with no resources at 3 heart blue mail. When those guards in the middle floors all do half a heart regardless of your armor.
Oh, that magic is a godsend for Gamma.
And look at that logic.
Yeah, logical double dip of Castle Tower. Very fun. Gamma still hasn't picked up that hammer. Or maybe he doesn't? Yeah, no, I don't think he has it at all.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't have it tracked.
So, I wonder what the reason behind delaying the hammer is at this time. But
I mean, I think he just probably, like, misheard which chests he was supposed to get. Right now, the hammer doesn't do a ton. I'm wondering if there's something on Pyramid, though.
I will say it, our trackers have been given permission to fill in our Pendant Crystal knowledge vortex, so we'll be able to at least have that information, since they're not going to give it to us very well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So if we... Oh, we have... Oh yeah, Gamma also has marked, and now our tracker does as well, that Quake is required for Misery Mire, and Ether is required for Turtle Rock, and we'll need both of those. Yeah, that's a good point in chat, that Gamma having to redo Mini Moldorm might have actually been a time loss caused by missing the hammer, because he wouldn't have had to try so hard to optimize his bombs, and might have been able to get a couple hammer hits off. Though hammer Mini Moldorm Caves, I don't know that I'd say I prefer it to bomb Mini Moldorm Cave.
I certainly don't.
Yeah.
The hammer hitbox is terrible. And we've got a Aga fight for Gamachu. And so far, I believe we've had several blue ball hits show up.
But all things considered, with the pendant Eastern clear and the fact that Gamma is going to have to go back into blindside for the hammer, Relkin's not very far behind. I think it's fair to say that unless something is on Ped that Gamma and Moogle have missed, they definitely have a lead regardless of that. I think it's far enough in the Aga fight that well, between the hammer and bow, I assume in retrospect I like the play a little more, because the water walk, if you mess it up, that's a lot of time. But if you just go get the key, get your flippers, then get the bow later, it's a little safer. You're taking a guaranteed time loss for a guaranteed time floor, which Relkin could have failed the fake flipper all the way to Zora, and that would have been real bad. He didn't, and definitely was rewarded for that.
And this is a very long Aga 1 fight.
Yeah, I've not even been keeping count. I think
we're on 3 lightning cycles now. So I think that was a 7.
7 is... Yeah, it's not what you want, but since in the randomizer RNG is seeded, do know that both runners will have to do that. Looks like something is on the pyramid. Ooh, the mirror. That is... this route's kind of nicely.
That's a convenient spot for a mirror, to be honest.
Okay, so they have noticed that they missed the hammer. So I'm thinking this is going to be a glove in height situation.
I would not be surprised. And down goes Aghanim for Relkin.
So Relkin, when all is said and done, looks like he's going to be about a bow and 2 hearts ahead. So they're going to meet up right here in a couple seconds. Like, literally, look at the sync.
And they just high-fived right there.
Yeah.
The big one is that bow pickup.
Yeah, if there's another bow, you know, they might have decided that the bow wasn't worth the trouble, and another one is easy to pick up. But that if there is another easy to pick up one, you know, Relkin's gonna have silvers, and Gamma might get them like around the time he does ice.
But it's still a slow pickup to go back from that bow.
Definitely.
And Relkin gets hit by the bushes today. Besides, he has to grab them first.
Another consideration is if there is something at Catfish that they need the glove for, you know, with that mirror, Gamma could grab the silvers at that point, and then would still have the benefit of not having to deal with some weird waterwalk stuff to get the boat early.
And glove at Dig Game.
Okay, the glove, a save and quit from Dig Game definitely makes me suspicious that Catfish is the case, because there's no reason that that's where you'd be headed, or that you'd save and quit. And both runners beeline. So this route does work out very well for Gamma and Moogle. Did all the necessary cleanup without having to worry about that obnoxious fake flipper, which, you know, the only real benefit for Relkin was that he got a pendant armor skill, which, you know, it needs to be said, he's still slightly ahead. You know, probably wouldn't be if not for the mini Moldorm death and the hammer pickup, but that's, you know, that's the reality of this mode is both teams are going to lose time where they weren't expecting to, and by all means shouldn't have. You know, like if they you know, any given day, 9 times out of 10, this works fine.
That's amazing.
There's our Titan's mitts. Glove locked glove.
That is an amazing stuff bot for a glove. You have to go from Dig Game to Catfish to get your mitts. And this is, as you said, when Gamma wants to pick up that bow. And going into Thieves Town with no big key, that means we've got some sort of progression in the front required here.
Where the big key is in the front.
I mean, that would be progression, wouldn't it?
That's true.
You don't want it to be the big key here.
I'm not expecting it. And we see the first divergence. Oh, baby, it is.
I guess it is the big key here. That's kind of funny. And yeah, we do have a divergence here.
This might actually be a pet seed. Could have been an oops. Could have been, you know, Gamma and Moogle saying that bow isn't worth the trouble you'd have to go for to get it, to avoid the double dip. If it is a ped seed, then Relkin's lead is pretty. Relkin and 1-Up's lead is pretty solid.
Yeah,
it could also be just something required in Back of Thieves.
Yeah, if something's in...
Or on Green Pet Dead.
I do agree with chat. I don't think you'd go for a full heart container just to...
Yeah, no, if it is not a ped seed, that was a mistake. And it's a mistake that would be, pretty easy to make. You're like, oh, we're going into Eastern. Oh, where's the bow? Oh, we can get that. Oh, we have to do like everything else. Let's go get it. Pendant falls, and like it has happened to me.
But this also has a lot... There's a lot of items that could be on that pedestal with this seed, too, if you look at it. We've got a very light pendant layout. So...
Yeah, even logically. Okay, a small key to desert. Even if there's nothing on the right side, that is a very good pickup, because it's probably... That text box is probably faster than picking up one of the slower pot keys in Back of Desert.
It's you can key dash through the second tile room, I think is the biggest advantage. And Blind giving us our daily joke. And excellent showing. We had the script for a minute. It was an excellent showing of the script for a little bit from Relkin, just proving that this mode is very rewarding on execution. And Blue Cane to avoid getting hit by Moldor. That's pretty heads up, and with a Quake on Moldor.
That puts Meyer in logic. Not a fun fight, but technically possible now.
And Relkin's going for that third pendant. And ending on Pendant Skullwoods is a pretty good advantage. If there's something on pedestal, you want to have Skullwoods as your last one if possible. And Gamma2 going into Ice Palace. Ice Palace is a pretty quick dungeon if you can just go mode straight through it.
I imagine there is something that we need here. Because if you can put off ice until your equipment is just like ever so slightly better, the Cold Stare fight can definitely be significantly quicker than it will be here.
And did you see the speed of that Hammer Moth fight?
Yeah, that I did not, because I was looking away for a second, but we're going to find out what's on the pedestal, I think. I guess is a required big key. That's my call. Maybe pod.
We don't have deserts. The only other major one it could be. Let's say Ether Medallion.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. Oh, the hook
How about a hook shot?
Well,
and there's that desert. So that's a definite required pedestal. So we have had an Agaped seed in Spoiler Vortex.
I mean, that is a great situation for the finals, because like a seed like that is going to be very heavy on execution. It's going to, you know, but not in the same way that like just knowing that all dungeons are required, because you just find where everything is, right? You have to notice in time to route some of these things inconveniently.
To answer a quick question, chat, Game 1 was won by Dodgers Gone Wild, Gamma 2, and Moogle Charm took Game 1. So, Relkin and 1UP are looking to even this out for Game 3.
Yeah, and so thinking about it, if Gamma can combine Eastern with Pod for the efficiency, oh gosh, this is
Be careful, Gamma. 5 hearts, 1 heart left. He cannot take another hit from anything. And these puffs are very mobile.
Yeah, the half magic that Relkin just picked up is definitely going to speed this up.
But Gamma does get the Cold Stare fight. That was tense.
Did Relkin hit the switch?
I didn't see if Relkin hit the switch, no. And Gamma's going to Thieves Town now. Chat confirming that he did.
Okay.
That Big Key Thieves Town makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's always funny. Like when you do a spoiler keys, and like there's like multiple French vanilla big keys, and it's like it feels like you're just doing an open seed. Like it's like, yeah, we're going to this dungeon next. It's like we don't have the big key. Oh yeah, it's in there. It's like it's funny how much the flavor changes, especially in spoiler. Like if you see that in a normal key seed, you're not expecting it, and you're not routing around it. But
Relkin having a much easier fight with Cold Stare because of that half magic fire rod.
this is interesting. I would have definitely thought that we would see Hera from Relkin for coming here to get that Quake medallion. Okay, that is a reasonable reason not to. If like Pod Big is in Turtle Rock or something, I think it has to be, or Swamp Small maybe.
The fact that both of those are sitting right there is kind of insane. Did we just get an entire TR kit out of the Mire Desert area?
We did. And so, yeah, what we're seeing here is different runners choosing some different trade-offs. I still like the idea of just doing the Hera side. You don't need anything from the big chest. Oh man, this is actually
Wow.
the entire TR kit.
The entire TR kit is over here. What is going on here?
Yeah, if you do just the Hera side, you climb Hera side, and you get your Quake off Mildorm, you can actually single dip the Mire area and single dip TR.
And a Tempered Sword from Desert. This is kind of loaded.
So Gamma, well, grabbing that Hera big key, set up to do exactly that without having even pulled Ped yet. Yeah, it's hard to tell who's definitively in the lead because both runners are gonna need to do some things the other has yet to do.
The big one is Gamma has to make another trip through Eastern Palace.
If he can combo it with Pod and doesn't have to do any walking to get there, I think that trek loses less time than you think. Since Gamma didn't walk from Big Key Chest to the lobby again. It definitely is a number of seconds and not necessarily a small one, but there are other considerations at the time. Like for one thing, Gamma bailed on Skull, which I actually really like. Relkin had a very fast Hammer Moth, but maybe Gamma's thinking about that cold stare. If he now has everything from Iron Desert, he can just full clear this area, have it tempered to do Moth, and make it that much quicker. And then go directly from Ped to Turtle Rock, where I assume we are getting either the Swamp Swirl or some more stuff for Pod.
Yeah. I love watching tricks to go up that stairway fast.
Yeah, I'm very partial to the sword climb, sword out climb. It's really fun to do.
And it's quite easy to do, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not a tough trick, but it looks so cool. Earlier Gamma picked up a Samaria block to get a similar speed boost while on the staircase.
And here's the difference between Relkin and Gamma's routes. Relkin gets to do Hera without having to get the big key.
Yeah, the time to get the big key is going to be the big difference here, because Relkin with no Pod Smalls, I assume will still probably fall down and grab the one that Gamma got out of the middle. And if you're getting those chests, it's probably less than a 10-second time save to do Hera Pod. It's still definitely a time save, like measurable, noticeable, but the bulk of the time save is really if you get to go mode the dungeon.
The only notable thing is Gamma went out of his way to get that big key while he was up here from Paradox Cave.
Yeah, so getting the big key was definitely so what we're seeing is some routing divergence in trade-offs. Gamma and Moogle decided what they were going to do is single dip the Desert Mire area. Relkin said, hey, we're going to do all these things. We're going to single dip VOO. We're going to do all of this as fast as we can. Like they're going to do every one thing as fast as they can. Like even Desert before Mire is technically a time loss, but Mire and Vidi especially is faster if you do it with Emperor. So they did Desert first. And a lot of those trade-offs are a big part of making decisions in this mode. Because you can't always play like a task. You can't always play to the fullest of your potential. So,
especially in a tournament situation like this, where you're in the final tournament, there's a lot of stress that goes on with this level of play.
yeah, definitely. And anything that you can get without too much cost that will, reduce the variance in what you expect from a fight or a clear is definitely worth considering, if not always worth getting.
There's the pod big. What does that leave our runners needing?
Okay, so I see what this is. So basically, Gamma's hedge, or like their hedge, was that they didn't clear Armos the first time there, and that's only not a big time loss if you combo it with pod. It's a time loss regardless over what Relkin did, which is single dip Eastern. However, you can mitigate some of that by making sure you single dip pod, and they decided that Hera Big key was enough to mitigate some of that, since you had to climb the mountain and come back down before you could go to pod. And Swamp Small has to be in TR at this point, I think, or Relkin would probably not be doing it. Unless it's in pod and he just decided that he's going to do TR and Hera on the same climb. But I'm guessing that Relkin is going to find the final piece of the puzzle, which is that Swamp Small, which is the last thing we need between the two runners, I think.
I believe so. And Gamma takes a hit against these eyeballs. They do 3 hearts of damage, and that bonk is costing magic as you're doing it too. So Gamma has to be careful here. And Relkin gets knocked off by the mini Helmasaur. There must be a Swamp Small here.
Yep, I think we are about to get it, and there it is. So you do have to climb the side of TR. I really do like the route that Relkin and 1UP have come up with here. But what that means with all this divergence is that we're not going to have a real solid picture of where the race stands, basically, until the runners are heading to GT.
Because
since there's just been so much divergence in the moment-to-moment gameplay that now Gamma only has 1 pod small, so unless. I guess Relkin and Relkin only have 1 as well.
I'm guessing this is a completely empty Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, the question is, like, if there's 1 in Swamp along the way, that could be... it looks like there's just 1 in pod, maybe on the bridge.
Right here on the bridge, almost definitely.
Yep, there it is. Okay, so yeah, this is... Yeah, so it just remains to be seen. So Relkin has an extra flute to Neuer. I guess it's not really an extra because this game fluted to reset up Spooky. Both runners have played a really clean game, though. Gamma had the mishap in Mini Moldorm Cave for getting the hammer. But other than that, he's been rocking 5 hearts most of the game.
Yeah, they've playing. you kind of expect a very clean game out of players of this caliber, though. These are two of the best players in the community. And they're showing it right now.
Vulcan, I think, did Gamma walk to the bridge and then come back? Rather than go through the... Here, like Vulcan's doing?
He had to, he didn't have a hookshot.
Oh, right, okay. That's true. So Relkin has probably like a minute and a half left in Mire, and then Swamp and the Go Mode Swamp and Pod. Gamma has to go do mod. I think Relkin is unquestionably pretty noticeably ahead now. But definitely time can still be made up. The TR clear is definitely the one that I think is going to be where when we really start noticing.
Chat has pointed out that Gamma will have to take an extra mountain climb because of his route.
Yeah, I think going to each side of the mountain, you don't lose as much time over a full mountain climb as you might think. Like if you have to, like in an all dungeon seed or something, like if you have to choose between like just climbing TR and finishing GT and coming back after or something, like you're only losing you're only losing like 20 seconds or so. It's definitely not the full mountain climb time, because what you'd be saving is like the time to go run across the mountain, which like Gamma, I guess, did run across the mountain to get the hair big.
Yes.
But yeah, a lot of these things, the margins are smaller than they might appear at first. There's no question that Relkin 1-Up's route has been significantly more efficient in a lot of key parts. I think I would have liked to see that two sides of the mountain play with that hookshot from Relkin, because they could have very comfortably singled it Mire. After Mire just on the right side. But yeah, both routes have worked out really well. I don't know if Head was missed at first, or they could have been just laser focused on Dark World access, or because all it takes is you just need to not know for a fact that pet is required when you are getting that bow, and you are suddenly in damage control mode for the rest of the seed.
I will say, I know at least some people, myself included, have a habit of checking what's on pedestal early, just so you know ahead of time in this sort of scenario. But it's something some might not worry about either.
Yeah, I usually incidentally get it when I'm looking for swords, because it's called the Master Sword pedestal. So if I just look for sword, I get the progressive swords, and then I get a quick look at what's on ped too.
Yeah, so same here.
So it looks like Gamma is going to be roughly a Turtle Rock behind. And Mountain Fine. Which is a pretty significant amount of time to try to make up in the end game. But it's not out of the question that they make up a significant amount of that time. But I think, at this point, if Relkin plays clean, this is their race to lose. So that Game 3 hype would be in word.
I would love to see this series go to Game 3, I will be honest.
Yeah.
These are top-tier runners. And it's always a treat to get to see them play against each other.
Yeah, and this mode is... It's so... The margins are so tight, because, like, in a normal spoiler seed, you have 15 minutes to look at the route. You can route in any safety you want with, knowing exactly what it's going to cost. And, like, you can evaluate at the time. But, like, this mode, it's, if you might have one chance in an area, and, there might be 2 hearts right next to that thing that you knew you needed, but didn't catch it. You focused on other things, and that's 2 less hearts than you could have had. So there's lots of low percent, lots of heavy execution, and neither of these runners have died during any of that.
As you said, Gamma is just going up to Turtle Rock as Relkin is going into Swamp Palace, so it is a Turtle Rock difference between these 2 runners. Roughly. To answer question, chat, I don't know what the music is in Gamma's overworld, but if anyone knows what MSU he's using, please let us know. My apologies, Vortex. You were about to say?
I was just commenting on Relkin picking up that 8th heart from Swamp Entrance Test. That might be one that I would expect Gamma to skip that. Like, they are going to try to get every single margin they can, because the runners or the pilots at least are allowed to be watching the opponent's stream. So
for example, I believe we saw Moogle Charm in chat a couple of minutes ago.
Oh yeah, we did, but I lost my train of thought. Oh, but yeah. So and I happen to know that Gamma, like there are runners that don't really want to know where they are. They just want to focus on executing. Gamma is perfectly fine knowing where he stands in the race and how much time he would need to hypothetically make up, and he knows that it's not likely to happen, but like, you don't pick up a heart in a chest that takes 5 seconds when you're a couple minutes behind, because every second could count. Relkin's probably not going to make a 3-4 minute mistake, but he might make a 2-minute mistake, like a Ganon death or something like that, and those 5 seconds could matter if Gamma can claw back a little other time other than that. So the end game margins can really vary wildly, and sometimes there's circumstances where, like, you see, if Relkin skipped, not you wouldn't see that with a hard container, I don't think. But like a potion or something like that, you might see Gamma pick it up because, like, maybe the win condition is that, like, Relkin dies and Gamma has to make sure he doesn't. That kind of situation. But this margin's a bit wide for that.
as you said, it's currently Relkin's race to lose.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier your team was no think, only go. Mine is my thoughts on that Swamp Small. My team name was my thoughts on that Swamp Small right there. Why is that there?
Yeah, that... Honestly, that Swamp Small... Honestly, the seed was pretty friendly in a lot of ways. Like, there was nothing... Like, you didn't have to get any stupid chests in Mire that required you to route in a Mire Small. You know, everything for Turtle Rock was, like, right in front of you.
We did not see a single thing in Pod.
Yeah, Pod was absolutely free, as free as it gets.
I like this chat commentary from Moogle on how Spoiler Log looks. What about you?
Yeah, this is, it's definitely, I've definitely had to, coach, through a crucial trick to make the seed flow nicely, as opposed to, just being a nightmare of double dips and bad logic. And, yeah, so that the double stored water walk is, it's a pretty niche trick that Relkin used to great effect. Well, he didn't actually use the double stored water walk because he didn't have his pearl, which I think was an oversight. We'll have to ask. Definitely made up for it with the very deft, precise fake flipper, like being Oko the whole way, which, you know, didn't end up costing a whole lot, but
it could have been a disaster.
So I think what the route would have been was you get your pearl, you do that stored water walk, and then from Zora Ledge, you take that bow and then you splash delete to go back into the waterfall. Although maybe it's faster to just fake flipper, just like save and quit flute and fake flipper back. But I can dream of the not doing a splash delete to Zora Ledge, but doing a splash delete away from Zora Ledge. I can dream that is a valid routing choice.
A splash delete off of Zora Ledge. I would love to see a seed where that's a valid choice from Vortex. I would love to see it.
In a seed without flute, I think that's a pretty valid choice, actually. With flute in this one, I'm not sure that it's worth the putziness to set up, but
I do think that the flipper locked Aga key with the flippers in Aga Tower was about the funniest part of this seed.
Well, and yeah, that was really the linchpin that most of the divergence revolved around. Like it was like those flippers being there and not wanting to double dip that when, you know, it's easy enough to get that key and like you're coming back to pod later. Like, but you had to go to Eastern for so much. I think both fire sources being in Eastern was really a big tipping point this seed, because it, like, if you do all dark Aga Tower, that bow is fine, right? Like, you just wait on Eastern entirely, you single dip it, you don't need the GT big key or fire on until later, but the lamp was also in Eastern. Like, everything about that was just like, you know, and to their credit, like, Relkin and 1UP caught that. They made a plan and they executed it. The damage control backup. for not being able to do pretty much exactly what Relkin and 1-Up did was I don't think it was an efficient enough route for the seed.
And we've got
a phenomenal GT climb.
Yeah, that is a quick GT climb. And we get the bug net out of Moldworm's last gift. This is... If he gets up there, I think you and I both know that Gamma's opening that chest. Because I believe it's common knowledge for a lot of the community that Gamma 2's favorite item is the bug net.
Relkin missing a nice triple setup, but ooh, that was a pretty nice 2-cycle. Oh no, it wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, I think that last one counted as a double.
The last one must have been a double. But, regardless, gonna fall into Ganon with an absurdly good time for a required AD seed. Like, a lot of stuff was friendly, but most of the early game really wasn't.
Once you get past the pedestal, it's a pretty friendly seed.
Really, once you get past the flippers and that bow, once you've gotten that, pedestal wasn't really bad. Like, the Thieves' Big is right there. You had to go into Eastern anyway. If you could manage to get a bow, like, that's you even get lamp for it. It's not too bad, but
okay. Relkin just saved and quit from the top of the pyramid to respawn at the top of the pyramid and drop it again. Did he take several hits on the Agathite that I missed?
Yeah, I'm imagining that was had like 3 hearts, maybe 4.
And on Red Mail, that's getting an extra hit of buffer.
Yeah. Pretty friendly warps, but we are going to see the Silverless fight. I think Noodle mentioned that the Silvers were in the big key room of GT, so that is a 3-minute journey, roughly.
To save, like, 60 or so seconds?
But I'd be surprised if it's even that. Well, maybe between, well...
I was saying, just depends on how you are at triples. So for these runners, maybe 30 seconds of time. 30 to 45.
Between 30 and 45 is probably a pretty good estimate of how much time.
If it was me trying to do some triples, it'd probably be a minute.
But Relkin is doing a very good job cleaning up this game fight. It goes down. This is a blazing fast time for Agaped.
Yeah. This was rolled as an open key sanity. What we got was all dungeons key sanity. So, get your GG in chat for Relkin.
It looks like Gamma is going to continue. Probably just pause to get the GG.
So, we'll see if we can get Relkin and 1-Up in for an interview today.
Maybe the towel has been thrown.
Yeah, and it looks like Gamma 2 has decided to forfeit, and I will see if I can get all 4 of them in for an interview. And at the moment, we have been joined by Gamachu and Moogle Charm. GG's, guys.
Hello, GG's.
Yeah, that was certainly an open key sanity seed, huh?
Who doesn't love all dungeons keys?
It's your favorite mode.
Ped with Ped.
It's well known. Yeah. Fitting that you should get one for the finals.
Of course.
You're also joined by Relkin and One Up, the winners of this match. GG's, gentlemen.
GG's, Relkin and One Up.
Hey there, GG's.
So, Relkin and One Up, the first thing I have to ask is, did you guys plan to get your Moon Pearl before doing before getting the bow, or was that fake flipper all the way to Zora? You know, that was that all the plan the whole time?
I forgot that I could have gotten the Moon Pearl to make that a lot easier on myself. But I still was able to get the bow.
Very well done. And you didn't lose a whole lot of time. That was some fast swimming, and you didn't even look too hard. Like you cruised through it. That was very nice. But yeah, that bow was pretty much the linchpin of the seed for both of you guys. All the divergence basically revolved around getting it at different times, and cleaning stuff up differently as a result.
Yeah, after we missed the bow and realized that it was a ped seed, it was like, all right, how can I route this in such a way that we don't have to double dip the Pod Eastern area, double dip the Meyer Desert area, just to try to cut as much time as I could, especially after we also somehow missed that hammer.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
Stupid.
It was just a little oops here and there. Like he told me to go ahead and set up the water walk so I could get the bow early, and I set it up. But I just my brain just turned off, and I just started water walking before I started fake flipping. I'm like, oops, I messed that up. I skipped the hammer, and then just bad luck was mini moldarms. I had to go repurchase bombs. It's just a few little things that just kind of added up to a lot at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, like, in pretty much all the races so far that we've had, whenever I've told Rilkin that something's a pendant, he's like, all right, now, is that the green pendant? Is there anything on PED? And, like, whenever he asks, is there anything on PED? Internally, I'm always a little bit like, there's never anything on PED. Come on now. But, like, this time, I went and looked at PED and, yeah, hookshot. What do you know?
Yeah, I don't think you guys expected all dungeon key sanity today.
Nope, I did not expect that at all.
You would be correct. Little did we know, we actually changed what mode we were racing at the last second. Actually without even trying to. So yeah, we're just that talented at changing the mode like that.
Well, it certainly made for quite a show.
If you ever want something to be an Aga seed and a Ped seed, the finals are the place to want it, right?
You know what killed me the most was the fact that Thieves and Skull Woods were the other pendants, so it made routing that hookshot like just so easy.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, the seed did lend itself very well to. There were definitely like loops that just played themselves. Like there was, you go do Thieves and Skull together. You guys split them up so you could single dip Meyer and Desert, and then combine.
But it was to get the tempered.
Yeah. And I liked the call. Relkin had a very fast hammer moth, so it was probably, marginal difference, but it was definitely a play for consistency, which I said I appreciated at the time. It was definitely a heads up call to be like, we're probably not going to lose that much time to fluting and coming back, going through the portal.
Yeah.
But we could lose a lot of time to a Master Sword Moth fight if it doesn't go well, because you guys had, I think, at least 2 less hearts for most of the seed. There was no comfiness there. Not a lot of
Vortex and I
margin.
were both a little tense on that Cold Star fight, Gamma.
Yeah, when there was a Harkentune in the first chest, but we already knew at that point, like, I'm so far behind. I need to cut corners, and I told him to pretty much route the best way you can at this point. Like, even if it's scary fights, boss fights, I'm like, I'll just have to take them. And yeah, I had to play that one really slow, but hey, at least I didn't die. So there's
Yeah,
that.
you needed a lot of best case scenarios to come back. Like Relkin did take the time to pick up the half magic and then had a faster fight. Like if you get a really good, beam kill or beam melt and then have a couple fire rod shots to finish, like maybe you don't lose the full time of back of escape to that fight. But like as it was, it just you needed best case scenarios and you didn't get enough of them to make up enough time to bring it much closer. But it was still a very, very well run race by you guys.
Yeah, even though our little mess ups here and there, I'm still happy with how we ran this. Kind of getting a little close, but not that close. But at least I was in GT because I told them, at this point I just want to be somewhere in GT before they finish.
Well, you were at land mode too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gamma had just made it past into Land Move 2 fight when Relkin finished.
Yeah, I just want to remark the Relkin and One Up got a sub 105 in an all dungeons key sanity, which is crazy. you guys ran a really good race.
Yeah, that was
Relkin, was flying for sure. His execution was great.
Yeah, and I think we that beginning was just really the big Kickstarter for that really nice route into the entire seed.
Oh yeah,
I
I go ahead, finish.
no, I was
thought
done. I was done. Go ahead.
I meant to ask, do you guys always Uncle Route, and did it just happen to work out that tier 1 was bombs and flute was in escape? Because you guys gained like 20 seconds right off the bat by already being in the Hyrule Castle area when you got those bombs and like just walk in. Both of you like caught that right away, but you guys were just already there.
That was actually he found that the boots and the flute the flute was in the castle, boots were in Kakariko. It's like, oh, I should go get the flute first then. And he's like, check the tree poles. I said, check the tree poles. He said, tier 1's bombs. Okay, I'll just do that. We'll just that'll be our opener.
Oh yeah, I saw that tier 1 was bombs, and there was a Hyrule Castle key. So he had to do the mushroom spot anyway, I think it was. So there was a Hyrule Castle key there, and I'm like, well, why don't you just grab bombs, grab that key real quick, and then you don't need to kill any guards. You could just go and get your flute. You only need to kill that one green guard then. So that was like our thinking, and I think to your point, Vortex, yeah, we probably lost a little bit of time because he could have just gotten the tree pole on the way to the castle instead of in the forest.
Yeah, the castle was probably a little faster for you guys, but it wasn't like it was
marginal.
A walk to Lost Woods faster, and like that obviously wouldn't have decided the race by itself. It was very close for a while. Although it's funny because we didn't know there was something on Ped. We thought that the Armos kill might have been like a think pendant moment, like like because you get the Eastern Big and it's like, oh, where's Bo? It's like, and you just like sometimes you just full clear a dungeon that you can if it's
yeah.
And...
So the way that sequence went for us was I was already about to go get that bow. I was halfway through the Zora's domain screen, and one was like, "Oh crap! It's a pendant. You don't need it right now." But I was like, well, I still need it, I think, anyway, so I'll go ahead and grab it. But I kind of it's like, well, I guess that might take away any advantage early game routing, because if they can just skip Armos, then they don't need to do this like I did. But then I was like, go ahead and check out like the boss and pedestal. And when he told me Hook was on there, I was like, oh yes, let's go, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
the beginning of the seed was surprisingly like it had a lot of different layers or whatever to it, like between like discovering that both gloves are in Dark World, so that means Ag is required, and then like trying to find, like okay, now we're trying to find swords and a light source and stuff for Aga, and then it's like okay, both of the light sources are in Eastern. Okay, can we get you like the big key and the bow before you go to Eastern? And like, yeah, trying to track all that. Yeah, I kind of went a little too fast and skipped over that it was a pendant at first.
I almost made Gamma Flute to 6 to get the sword from Desert, not knowing it was the compass chest and not seeing the other sword in Zaha. So yeah, I get it. It was a pretty crazy beginning.
I believe Vortex can agree with me here, but piloting's hard.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah, there's not an easy job in this mode. There's definitely front-loaded effort on the pilots and back-loaded on the runners. But man, like, yeah, this is hard stuff. But it's a really fun mode and very rewarding to watch you guys play at this level.
But with that, I think we're about done here. Do you have any final comments on this seed? Gamma, Moogle, 1UP, or Relkin?
No, well, I'm hoping for another 80 keys. That's always fun.
I was gonna say a
not
jet
really.
seed. Come on.
Yeah, jet seeds. But no, I mean it was fun. But hopefully, let's see how it goes on Sunday. I'm sure it's gonna be another fun one. But
Yeah,
thank you guys for doing commentary and putting up the restream. And GG's to you guys, Relkin and 1UP.
That reminds me. You mentioned Sunday. What time on Sunday is your Game 3 rematch here?
It is at 4 p.m.
And that's on Sunday the
26th, 2 days.
26th. I just had to check my time clock to see what day that is.
Yeah. But yeah, like you were saying, yeah, that the rubber game, the one for all the marbles, they'll be on Sunday.
And we will all be watching that, I'm sure.
I know I'm excited. I've gotten to watch both of these games so far from this commentary booth. I think I might look for Game 3 while I'm at it.
I was gonna say, presumably other than the people running, because I can't remember if this I don't think you're technically supposed to, but man, like even if you could, I don't think you'd want to watch your opponent. I can't even do it in solo spoiler very well. I'm sure I lose time when I try.
Yeah. With that, I think we're wrapping up here. Big shout-outs to Gamachu and Relkin for playing up a good show here for us tonight, and to Moogle Charm and 1UP for guiding their runners through this seed. And a big shout-out to our trackers rapidly clicking these buttons today, Mizuhiro Fox and Scott G239. And a big shout-out to Vortex of Doom for joining me in the commentary booth.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, been a lot of fun. Thanks everybody that helped make this possible, and thanks to Hazu Kitty, Ricky of Kokiri, Lumaga, the admin crew of the Spoiler Pilot tournament. I had a lot of fun running in it, and I know it's never easy to put a tournament together. And they've done a great job. It's been pretty casual, but it's been a lot of fun and a lot of good races. So yeah, thanks to them as well.
And lastly, a big thanks to the staff at ZeldaSpeedRuns for letting us put these semifinals and finals we've been doing up on the restream for everyone to watch, just see how Pilot Spoiler plays out. So it's been a fun tournament, and I'll be a little sad to see it end on Sunday, but it's going to be an exciting race.
I think that just about does it for us here. So thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully we'll see you back here on Sunday.
And lastly, we have coming up next on Zelda Speedruns, we have the first thing coming up on Zelda Speedruns tomorrow is a Majora's Mask randomizer tournament race at noon Eastern tomorrow. So if you like watching other randomizers, stick around for that. But with that, I believe we're about done here. My name is Z Kaiwind. My co-com is Vortex of Doom, and we've brought the finals of the pilot spoiler tournament to the scene. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night, everybody.